to the Tuesday Night Touchdown Podcast with your hosts, Reese Downing and Jacob Workman.
What's going on, guys? It is TNT Tuesday Night Touchdown Podcast, NFL edition, Week 16 picks. With me, as always, is the fine citizen, Mr. Jacob Workman. Jake, how's it going, brother?
Everything was going good. My team, we're losing guys by the minute, so it's gonna be a rough ending to the season here.
Yeah, not good for Detroit. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. We also have a special guest with us. If you guys watch the show regularly, you will know this guy well. We call him the Carter. Andrew, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining us today.
Not much. Thanks for having me. It's been a little while. Excited to talk some football with you guys and chop it up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's hop in here. Apologies for the raspiness in the voice. I'm not feeling 100%, so bear with me here.
It's the flu game.
It's the flu game. Yeah, pretty much. Hopefully I perform as well as Jordan. Last week recap, Jake finished 7-9, missed his lock with the Chargers, but he did hit Buffalo. 2024 total right now is 115 and 107. I finished out 11-5. I hit my lock with Minnesota and my dog with Dallas. Thank you, Carolina Panthers fans that I didn't hear from during that game. The 24 total for me right now is 116 and 106. So I have a one game up right now on Jake. Let's jump into some week 15 results here. We don't really have anything going on with Vegas. Rams beat the Niners 12-6. Chiefs beat the Browns 21-7. Bengals beat the Titans 37-27. Commanders beat the Saints 20-19. Ravens beat the Giants 35-14. Cowboys beat the Panthers 30-14. The Jets beat the Jags 32-25. The Texans have clinched their second consecutive AFC South title with their 20-12 victory over the Dolphins, and the Colts lost to the Broncos, which helped lock that in. The Broncos did beat the Colts 31-13. Bills beat the Lions in a shootout 48-42. The Eagles beat the Steelers 27-13. The Steelers did still clinch a playoff spot despite the loss due to losses by both the Dolphins and the Colts. Cardinals beat the Patriots 30-17. The Bucks beat the Chargers 40-17. Packers beat the Seahawks 30-13. The Vikings beat the Bears 30-12. They have also clinched a postseason berth thanks to the Seahawks loss to the Packers. And rounding out week 15, the Falcons beat the Raiders in a 15-9 barn burner. Jake, you got any thoughts on the week 15 games?
Just some interesting things that happened. Obviously, we had the Jonathan Taylor dropping the ball early. I still don't understand how people do that. The refs at the end of the the Saints game coming in, blowing the play dead like it was college. Completely about screwed the world there. The Saints almost, if they would have got that 2-point conversion, there would have been the biggest uproar ever. Like Lions Bills was incredible. Golf almost threw for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns, and he doesn't even get talked about. That's how crazy the game was. Like, I mean, there's just a lot of surprising things. I talked about it a few weeks ago too with another team that went in there and took over the Seahawks stadium, but the Seahawks do not have crowd support anymore. That's no longer a vaunted place to play. Every team goes in there and takes it over now. Like it's kind of crazy how things have changed there. But getting closer and closer to the playoffs, obviously the picture's coming more and more clear. The Rams have moved into first place in the West, which is nice. So we'll see what happens. A few weeks left.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the playoff picture. There's been a couple things that have shifted around since last week. Carter, we were going to have Scott on here. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to make the NFL show anyway, but he's been texting me back and forth about Anthony Richardson, and basically he's ready to give up on the guy. Not looking for development or anything like that. He just thinks he's the wrong answer and that you guys should be hunting for a new quarterback in the offseason. What are your thoughts on how AR's looked throughout the season so far?
It's definitely been an up and down season for AR. I think anyone that is already ready to throw the talent on him, though, didn't really get the picture of why we drafted this guy. Because his upside, his moments where he's looked good at the beginning of this game against Denver, he looked amazing. He had a couple throws across the middle that barely anyone in the NFL could make. He's been great in the pocket, even with a shoddy offensive line. They have a hard time bringing him down. And it was always going to be a project. Steichen hasn't really done a great job of helping him out. Since he got benched and came back, Steichen started to let him run the ball a little bit more. He doesn't really have any weapons. So I don't know what's up with Michael Pittman. He's been hurt all year. Josh Downs has been banged up. They don't have a tight end that can catch a cold on the team. It's not all an AR. The guy's only started, 13 games now? So I'm not ready to give up
that's
on him.
including
Since high
college.
school.
I feel like, yeah,
Yeah.
let's just say, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
The whole organization, though, is rough. I don't know how Ballard, this is his 9th year, going on 10, and they haven't won a division in 10 years. So I think something's got to change. And if they move on from Ballard, then the new GM will kind of make that decision. But the AR thing was always going to be a project. And there's a lot of people out there that I don't know if they watched the whole game, but they're just sick of the losing and they're ready to move on. So that's kind of my take.
Yeah, I'm I'm in agreement with you. I honestly, like, knowing he was going to be a project, especially the limited amount of games that he played before he ended up in Indy. I also think there's an opportunity if he does end up not working out at the quarterback position, like, to be able to use him in some sort of a gadget fashion. Like, I don't think giving up on him this early in his career is the best play, but I do see every Monday morning when I get on Facebook, it's just flooded with Colts fans that are all ready to hang Ballard at the 50-yard
So many
line.
haters out there.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it moving here. The NFL will play its first ever regular season game in Berlin, Germany in 2025 as the league continues expanding their global reach. Nike and the NFL have reached a 10-year partnership extension, locking Nike in as the league's on-field apparel provider while laying out some key initiatives, including global expansion, player health and safety, next-gen football development, storytelling, and fan engagement that is now going to go through 2038. I thought this was interesting. Face mask penalties may be subject to replay assistance in the 2025 NFL season after a significant amount of missed calls. I think we'd like to see that expanded a little further there, but it's interesting that they're taking
review
a look at
everything. Sky Judge, Jesus, it's easy.
Yeah. It's not that difficult. There's a camera that's covering every inch of the field. So, Bill Belichick, we talked about him briefly last week. University of North Carolina and Belichick have finalized a 5-year deal for the former Patriots head coach to become a new head coach of the Tar Heels. Denver Broncos and left tackle Garrett Bowles have agreed to a 4-year, $82 million extension. 49ers linebacker Devondre Campbell, who refused to play in Thursday night's loss to the Rams, has been suspended for the last 3 games of the year, so he is done. I'm guessing we will not see him in a San Fran uniform anymore. Miami and wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. have agreed to part ways. He just had 9 catches for 55 yards in 9 games with the team. Raiders limited partner Tom Brady is expected to be heavily involved in picking Vegas's next quarterback. Jets wide receiver Devontae Adams became the 12th player in NFL history to reach 100 career touchdown catches, and Jags rookie wide receiver Brian Thomas set the rookie receiving records for the Jags in their loss to the Jets. Moving into some injury stuff here. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, he suffered a mild ankle sprain in Sunday's 21-7 win over the Browns. It seems like he was going to be week to week, but we'll talk about this in a minute. The line has shifted in the Texans-Chiefs game, which makes us think that he's going to play. So we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Cowboys cornerback Trevon Diggs is expected to undergo season-ending knee injury. Or surgery, excuse me. Reports are that the team's not very happy with how he approached his recovery from his previous injury. So we'll see how that plays out. He did get a contract extension not too long ago. Raiders Max Crosby met with a noted foot and ankle specialist on Monday. He is going to have season-ending ankle surgery. Jaguars tight end Evan Ingram is expected to miss the remainder of the season with a labrum injury. Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts is dealing with a broken finger on his non-throwing hand. Steelers TJ Watt suffered a low ankle injury in Sunday's loss to the Eagles. He is currently listed, I believe, as questionable. Seahawks quarterback Geno Smith left the second half of Sunday night's loss to the Green Bay Packers with a knee injury. It's said that he's structurally okay, but word is still out on how long he may miss. Panthers wide receiver Xavier Legette suffered a groin injury in Sunday's loss to the Dallas Cowboys. He's considered week to week. Bengals defensive end Sam Hubbard suffered a PCL injury during Sunday's win over the Tennessee Titans. He is going to be out at least until week 16 or through week 16. Browns running back Nick Chubb, hits the IR yet again, suffered a broken foot injury in Sunday's loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. That's going to require surgery. I don't know if you guys, well, you'd be living under a rock if you didn't see the hit from Dolphins wide receiver Grant DeBose. Pretty ugly. He does have movement in all extremities, and initial tests reveal positive results after suffering that hit. We'll see how long it's going to take for him to get back. Waddle is also dealing with a knee injury on the Dolphins. It's not considered major, but he is questionable heading into week 16. Kamara is dealing with a groin injury. He's getting some more tests this week, and possibly most notably right now are the Lions, who are just getting decimated by injuries. Running back David Montgomery, cornerback Carlton Davis, defensive lineman Aleem McNeil, cornerback Khalil Dorsey all have significant injuries. And speaking of that, Dan Campbell was on 97.1, the ticket out of Detroit, and he sounded off on all the injuries. Jake, if you want to play the clip.
But we can't let these injuries be in vain, man. All of those players helped us get to the point we're at. They helped us get, these last 4 helped us get to 12 wins. And we owe it to them to finish this thing out. And that's how I view it. And so it means there's another opportunity for other guys, you know? And look, I don't, you know what happens is, you know, you win 11 in a row, you know, and you lose, and then the sky falls. And I hate to say it, but we're not going to be able to win 11 in a row again for the rest of this season. We're just not going to be able to do it. And, you know, what happens is you get used to eating filet, and I'm talking to all of us, and well, everything's good, life's good, you know, but you forgot what it was like when you had nothing and you ate your molded bread. You know, and it was just fine, and it gave you everything you needed. And sometimes you got to get punched in the mouth and remember what it used to be like to really appreciate where you are. And we'll do that. And so we got a bad taste in our mouth. We got kicked around the other day. We lost a few guys, and you know what? It's exactly what we needed. This is exactly what we needed. So we're going to bounce back. We're going to respond. We got guys that are about to have an unbelievable opportunity here, and we will play the game any way needed to win. We still got a good offense. We got plenty of defensive players. I can go rattle them off right now. We're going to put the best 11 on the field. We're going to freaking cut it loose. We're going to play with our special teams. And I don't give a crap if we got to win by 1 point for the rest of the year. That's what we're going to do. And I'm going to be happy about it. We come out of the game with 50 yards of total offense and we win by 1, you're going to see smiles on my face. I promise you. All right? If it's the other way defensively, we give up 700 yards and we win by 1 point, you're going to see a smile from my ear to ear. All right? I can promise you. So we're going to find a way and we're going to get it done.
So notwithstanding the F-bombs that DC dropped in radio, Jake, what were your thoughts on the
how can you
there?
How can you not fucking love that? Like all of Lions fans in the world after that fucking game and the injuries, like it was just like we crashed. Like you could just sense it. It's like the fucking season's over. What the fuck? Like this was the dream year. Like this is what we looked for. We lost Aiden Hutchinson a long time ago, and you know what? We kept fucking rolling. And the one thing we never really had, we did have a couple offensive line injuries, but we never really had that offensive injury. So when we got this week and we got Aleem McNeil, people that don't understand, like he is the best player on our defense. Like losing him is enormous. Like that is the biggest injury we've had outside of Aiden. But then David Montgomery leaves the game and he comes back in and plays and there's nothing. Like everyone's like, okay, he's fine. And then all of a sudden the next day he's out for the season. And it's like, no, like that was the one thing we hadn't had yet. So like you could just feel the season fucking crash. Like it was the Niners second half all over again in injuries. But then MCDC comes out and he reminds everyone the way he reminds everyone with his speeches. Like he's right. Like it wasn't long ago we were eating fucking molded bread. Look where we're at now. Like I think you've got to just remember where we're at. We've clinched a playoff spot already. Essentially, we're 2 games away from the Super Bowl. Like I think it is right. Like who says that this team with our fucking outstanding offense still can't go out and win? Like he just said, give up 700 yards. If we win by a point, guess what? We're smiling because we won. I like it. I like his message. He's obviously a great motivator. I think the Bears are in trouble this week because I can only imagine what hell they're going through this week and what Dan Campbell's preaching to that team. I talk a lot on the college episodes about Dan Lanning and the messages that he sends and the way he gets Oregon prepared. I think we've got a similar situation with Dan Campbell. We just don't get to see it in full effect like we do with Dan Lanning. And I think I still have faith that this dream season might still be alive.
Carter, what are your thoughts?
I love Dan Campbell, man. He's awesome.
Yeah.
They're probably the team I'm rooting for right now, knowing that the Colts aren't going to make the playoffs. He's completely right. Next man up. You just got to keep moving on. There's always attrition in the football season. And, yeah, I agree. Aleem McNeil is a big loss. He was wreaking havoc against us. Man, that dude was in the backfield all day long. So it sucks, but you still got a lot of weapons there. Gibbs will step up, and I don't know who's going to step up on defense, but just score a bunch of damn points and it won't matter.
So the good news is we are getting a few guys back on defense. So we're going to do some shifting around, but it's more the backs, the secondary part of us, I think, is the only part of us that's really going to be good. But I mean, I know Carlton Davis being out sucks, but we've got some maneuverable pieces there. But the D line and linebackers, man, it's like we could probably suit up and it would be the equivalent. Like it's getting crazy there.
We'll see what happens. You think there's going to be any shifts in like personnel strategy, getting more secondary on the field because of the injuries that you guys are dealing with right now?
I don't think so, just because we don't have too much depth yet, because we do still have injured guys there that still haven't came back yet.
Yeah.
But if he will be back, and if he comes back, we might be able to slide Branch down into the slot, and he can go back to corner a little bit as opposed to the safety like he's been playing.
Yeah.
It's just going to be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, I mean, we can only play what we have, and what we have right now is guys that we just signed, Jamal Adams and Quan Alexander, and the rest of the brigade. It's just a week by week who fits where and see what happens. So
is Anzalone or Rodriguez coming back, or are they out for the year?
Anzalone, there's potential of playoff, and Rodriguez I do not believe has any chance. Anzalone would be more the Aiden Hutchinson return time period, NFC Championship, Super Bowl.
So there is still an opportunity for Hutch.
Aiden Hutchinson came out today and said, if the Lions are in the Super Bowl, I will play. That was his exact quote he said today.
All right. Well, I mean, when you got a coach like Dan Campbell motivating you, it's hard not to want to be out there on the field, even if you're not 100%. All right, let's take a quick look here at the playoff picture before we start picking games here. A couple shifts. The Broncos and Chargers have flip-flopped again, so the Broncos have now moved up to the 6th spot. They are currently slotted to travel to Pittsburgh in the first round. The Chargers slide down to 7. They are now traveling to Buffalo to play the Bills. On the NFC side, Tampa Bay, I've been talking about them for the past couple weeks in a charge towards the end of the season. They've now bumped up to the 3 spot, and the Rams have also hopped the Seahawks, knocking them out of the playoffs for the moment anyway, and they are now in the 4 spot. So we have Minnesota traveling to Inglewood to play the Rams. We have Green Bay traveling to Tampa to play the Bucks, and we have the Commanders traveling to Philly to play the Eagles. In the wild card on the NFC side. In the AFC side, we've got the Ravens traveling to Houston to play the Texans, the Broncos traveling to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers, and the Chargers traveling to Buffalo to play the Bills. Out of all the games that you guys are seeing here, what's the one, if you had to watch it, first round matchup on either side? Jake?
Only one? Well, that's not fair.
I gotta pick one.
I'm going to exclude one of those games because it's obvious. I'm taking out the Rams Vikings because that would obviously be my pick, but I think it would be Bucks Packers, just because, I mean, that's a great game.
Yeah.
A shootout. It's going to be in Tampa, so you don't worry about the weather bullshit. And I mean, maybe potential rain, but like the Tampa offense against the Packers defense, like to me right now, that's the one I would want to watch more than anything. And honestly, you give me that Chargers Bills as my second one, because I think that's a better game than people think also.
Carter, what do you think?
I like both those 6-3 matchups. Packers Bucks and Broncos Steelers, I think, is a sneaky good one. 2 really good defenses there. Of course, the Bills would be nice. I think the Texans suck, so Ravens would probably stomp them. But
I agree.
Yeah, it looks like a good looking playoff so far.
Yeah, it's looking good. We'll see how it shakes out here in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, just need that one to stay where it's at in the NFC. That's going to be that'll be critical situation.
It's going to be down to the wire. All right, guys, let's hop into some Week 16 picks. Our Thursday night football matchup features the 9-5 Denver Broncos as they head to Inglewood to face off against the 8-6 Los Angeles Chargers. 8:15 p.m. kickoff at SoFi Stadium on Amazon Prime. Over under is 42.5. The Chargers are favored by 3. Jake.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really good game. The Thursday nights have actually been pretty good. Denver going on the road to LA, though, like I always say, that's not a home field environment. But best stadium in the NFL, in my opinion, so it'll be fun to watch it there at least. I do think 3 is an interesting line here that we're not getting the half point. That kind of leads me to take the Chargers here. So I'm going to take the Chargers minus the 3.
Carter?
After getting a good taste of Denver this week, I think I'm leaning Broncos getting 3 points there on the road.
Fair enough. Yeah. Chargers just haven't looked the same since Dobbins has gone down. Denver's been winning as of late, so I'm also going to take the Broncos in the points. We have 2 Saturday matchups this week. The first being a battle of AFC division champs as the 9-5 Houston Texans head to the Heartland to take on the 13-1 Kansas City Chiefs. 1 p.m. kickoff at Arrowhead Stadium on NBC. Over under in this one is 41.5. KC is favored by 2.5. We talked about this a little bit ago, just earlier today. Houston was the one favored by 2.5. So it sounds like Pat Mahomes may be on the field.
He was a full participant at practice today and says he will push to play versus the Texans.
There you go.
Like we was just mentioned, I don't really trust this Texans team at all. Though the Chiefs don't cover much, 2.5 is low. Interesting stat. The Chiefs are one of 4 teams in the NFL that have not hit 30 points this year, which is insane to think about. But I will take Chiefs minus 2.5.
Carter?
Yeah, I'm with Jake here. I just said I don't trust Houston. I think they're frauds. Kansas City, we've seen Mahomes win a Super Bowl on a bum ankle before. I think they want to hold on to that number 1 seed, and I think they'll get it done at home. Minus 2.5 is pretty low.
Yeah, like I said, this line flipped this morning, which, we just talked about. Sounds like Mahomes is going to be on the field. Mixon is also a little banged up. Stroud's not looked that great on the road this season, so I am also going to take KC here minus the points. The second of our Saturday matchups is a big AFC North matchup as the 10-4 Pittsburgh Steelers head to Mobtown to battle the 9-5 Baltimore Ravens. 4:30 p.m. kickoff at M&T Bank Stadium on Fox. Over under is 44.5. Baltimore is favored by 6.5. Jake?
Yeah, the Watt injury to me is kind of big in this one, and Baltimore is at home. 6.5 is a lot for a divisional game, though. Let's go Justin Tucker missed extra point. Baltimore wins by 6. Steelers cover.
Carter?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Steelers to cover this. I think Baltimore will still win. Pittsburgh beat Baltimore earlier in the year by a field goal, actually. So give me the Steelers covering.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's offense, I think, looks a little different without Pickens. TJ Watt also being a little banged up. I think both those things are going to work against the Steelers. So I am actually going to take Baltimore minus the 6.5. Our Sunday early matchups kick off with another AFC North matchup with Battle of Ohio as the 3-11 Cleveland Browns face off against the 6-8 Cincinnati Bengals. 1 p.m. at Paycor Stadium on CBS. Over under is 46.5. Cincinnati is favored by 7.5.
Yeah, the Lord didn't bless Jameis with his wish, and now he's gone. So I'm a little pissed off. So I'm taking Cincinnati minus 7.5 for our friend Mr. Haslam.
Carter.
Yeah, it's sad that we're not going to see Winston anymore this year. Cleveland's going to see what they have in DTR. Cincinnati's been kind of cooking offensively, so give me the Bengals minus 7.5 that we have. Yeah, 7.5.
Yep, 7.5. I'm with you guys. I am also going to take Cincy here to win and cover at home. Next up, the 7-7 Arizona Cardinals fly to Queen City to take on the 3-11 Carolina Panthers. 1 p.m. at Bank of America Stadium on Fox. Over under is 46.5. Arizona is favored by 4.5.
Yeah, Arizona. I talked last week about how they had kind of been trending down a little bit, and then they came out and just beat the absolute Jesus out of New England. So I don't know what to really think of this team. Carolina had a pretty shitty performance last week. It's kind of 2 teams that I don't know what to think. Arizona is on the East Coast playing a 1:00 game. 4.5 might be too much in this one. I'm going to take Carolina to get the cover. I think Arizona still wins, and that will keep them alive for a playoff hope also.
Carter?
Give me Arizona. I think that is a little bit too many points. Carolina has been playing pretty well. Bryce Young looks like he's kind of turned the corner a little bit, but I still think Arizona will be too much for the Panthers.
Yeah, Bryce Young has looked better as of late. I think the key difference maker here is going to be James Conner. He's been playing very, very well the past couple weeks, and I think the Panthers are going to have a problem getting him to slow down. So I'm going to take Arizona minus the points. Next, we have an NFC East battle as the 12-2 Philadelphia Eagles head to the nation's capital to go up against the 9-5 Washington Commanders. 1 p.m. at Northwest Stadium on Fox. Over under is 45.5. Philly is favored by 3.5.
And I will buy a McLaurin jersey, a Daniels jersey. I'll buy a backwards hat for Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury. I'll buy hair gel. Please, whatever it takes for the Commanders to win this fucking game. Please do it. We need this more than anything. But I will take Philly to cover the 3.5 because I don't think that's going to happen.
Carter?
I'm going to go ahead and call the upset here. I think Washington's going to win at home outright.
Please.
And Detroit stays in the one spot.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I'm going with Philly here. I think the offense is just going to be a little bit too much. Right. Next up, we have the 2-12 New York Football Giants heading to Hot Atlanta to face off against the 7-7 Atlanta Falcons. 1 p.m. at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Fox. Over under is 41.5. Atlanta is favored by 9.5.
Oh, okay. First off, unless Penix is playing, the Falcons should not be favored by 9.5 against any team in the world. I don't care if it is the Giants. I'm pretty sure Penix isn't playing yet, so I will actually be on the Giants plus 9.5 because I think the Falcons are in a bad position right now.
Carter?
I was kind of thinking the same thing. I don't minus 9.5 here. I really wish Atlanta would go to Penix because Kirk Cousins has. Oh wait, I think he did throw a touchdown this last night, but
yeah,
they're not good. Giants really don't have much of a pulse either, but that's too many points for me, so I'll stay with the Giants.
I just don't think this is a good matchup for the G-men. They struggle against the run and play action, which are two things that Atlanta can potentially do. So I'm going to take Atlanta here, even though the spread's a little rich. Next up is an AFC South showdown as the 3-11 Tennessee Titans take on the 6-8 Indianapolis Colts. 1 p.m. at Lucas Oil Stadium on CBS. Over under is 42.5. Indy is favored by 3.5.
Yeah, like I love watching Will Levis play football because God knows what the fuck's going to happen, and now he's pulled. So this is kind of my Jameis theory. Like, that's the only reason anyone was watching this team, and now you take him out. So where are the gunslingers at? We need more gunslingers in the NFL. I will be on the Colts minus 3.5 at the Glue Factory.
Carter?
At the Glue Factory. Yeah, I love watching Levis play. He's hilarious. He does all kinds of crazy stuff on the field. But there's no way Rudolph's going to come into Lucas Oil and beat the Colts. The Colts are going to probably win this one. They got the Giants next. And the Chargers will somehow get our hopes up that we might be able to sneak in the playoffs and we'll lose to the Jaguars week 18 at home.
Yep.
So, yeah, give me the Colts minus 3.5.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm also taking Indy minus 3.5. We've got another divisional battle, this time in the NFC North, as the 12-2 Detroit Lions head to Windy City to take on the 4-10 Chicago Bears. 1 p.m. at Soldier Field on Fox. Over under is 47.5. Detroit is favored by 6.5.
So I believe Dan Campbell once said, I don't care if I have one ass cheek and 3 toes, I'm going to go out there and beat someone's ass. And I feel like that's kind of our theory this week. So Lions minus 6.5. I don't care how injured we are. We can't lose to this fucking team. And the Bears. I love Caleb Williams, but some of the antics I'm seeing from him aren't really the best situation right now. And I think the Bears are just in complete disarray. So I will be on the Lions minus 6.5.
Carter?
Going back to Thanksgiving Day, the Chicago Bears were driving with the chance to knock off the Lions. And then Matt Eberflus gets fired and all that. And ever since then, I think Chicago's looked even worse. The Lions
and the Hail Mary.
Get the hell out of Chicago. Yep.
The Washington Hail Mary where the Bears players just stand and look. They haven't won a game since then.
Oh, it's been bad.
What was your pick there, Carter? I didn't hear it.
Oh, Lions by 100.
Lions by 100. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of with you based on what we just heard from MCDC. I think this team is going to come in, especially in a divisional matchup, and look to bloody some noses. So I am also going to take the Lions here minus the points. The last of our early matchups features the 8-6 Los Angeles Rams as they head to East Rutherford to face off against the 4-10 New York Jets, 1 p.m. at MetLife Stadium on CBS. Over under in this one is 46.5. The Rams are favored by 3.
Yeah, Jets offenses came alive a little bit, but the Rams D is really fucking good. I think Rodgers is going to be on his ass quite a bit in this game. Rams offense is still going pretty well. The running game's great. They've been throwing it all over the place. I know it is a West Coast team and a 1 o'clock spot on the East Coast, but unless the weather's just crazy, I really like the Rams in this one.
Carter?
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams here. It is, like you said, going West Coast to East Coast, but I just don't see much out of the Jets. I know they kind of figured it out last week and got a win, but I think the Rams will be too much for them.
Yeah, I don't think Cooper Kupp is going to finish with 0 everything in this game. So I am also going to take the Rams here minus the points. The first of our afternoon games, excuse me, kicks off with the 12-2 Minnesota Vikings against the 8-6 Seattle Seahawks. 4:05 p.m. kickoff at Lumen Field on Fox. Over under in this one is 42.5. Minnesota is favored by 3.5.
Yeah, Seattle's all over the place. They're a hard team to trust right now, but I still say every week, and the Vikings haven't played a lot of good teams, and when they do play teams, they struggle. They've been in a lot of close games. That's why it's only 3.5. I think Seattle can still actually win this game on their home field. I'm actually going to take Seattle in this one plus the 3.5.
Carter?
Yeah, I'm with Seattle too. At home, getting points. I know they didn't look too good against the Packers, but before that, they were kind of on a mini heater, 1-4 in a row. And I'm not completely sold on the Vikings. I mean, they got a great record, but I don't know how much I trust Darnold.
All right, yeah, they've been winning some close games recently, but I am also going to take a gamble and take the Hawks here plus the points. I think the weather might be a little bit of a factor here as well. It looks like it's going to be pretty rainy, so I am also going to take Seattle plus the 3.5. Next up is an AFC East showdown as the 3-11 New England Patriots head to Orchard Park to take on the 11-3 Buffalo Bills. 4:25 p.m. kickoff at Highmark Stadium on CBS. Over under is 46.5. Buffalo is favored by 14.5.
Yeah, Patriots coming back from playing Arizona on the road. Now they're going up to Buffalo. I don't see them having a chance in hell of stopping them. So I'll take, I know it's high, but I'm going to take Buffalo minus the 14.5.
Carter?
What happened to the theory of every time you play Detroit, you lose after that? You were running with that for a little while.
They're playing a 3-11 team.
Yeah, for sure. I just think 14.5 is a lot, so I'll ride with the Patriots here, divisional game. But yeah, Buffalo will win.
Yeah, I just think Josh Allen's just playing MVP football right now. It's going to cause a lot of problems for New England. To your point, they're coming back from that road trip, so I'm taking Buffalo here, even though it's a significant spread. Next up, we have the 6-8 San Francisco 49ers heading to South Beach to face off against the 6-8 Miami Dolphins. 4:25 p.m. at Hard Rock Stadium on CBS. Over under in this one is 44.5. Miami is favored by 1.5.
Yeah, the Dolphins obviously are not in a good situation, and if one coach knows how to handle the McDaniel offense, it would probably be the guy he got it from, Kyle Shanahan. So I think the Niners win this outright. I don't even think this game's close.
Carter?
Yeah, I think 49ers will win this one. Both teams have been kind of sorry seasons for their expectations going into. I know there's been a lot of injuries, but I think 49ers still are the better team overall.
Yeah, Dolphins need to find some life returning home. They are facing off against a pretty depleted team in the Niners. I've gone back and forth on this one. I'm not confident going either way, but I'm going to take Miami being the home team here, minus the points. The last of our afternoon games has the 3-11 Jacksonville Jaguars against the 2-12 Las Vegas Raiders. 4:25 p.m. at Allegiant Stadium on CBS. Over under is 39.5. The Raiders are favored by 1.5.
Yeah, I think it's obvious what's going on in Vegas. They want a certain quarterback, and his name is Shador. I will take Jacksonville to win this game outright.
Carter?
What a couple of terrible football teams. It does seem like the Raiders are kind of tanking. Who's even going to go to this game? The Raiders don't have any fans
I
really in
say
Vegas.
Jacksonville fans aren't
Jacksonville's not
traveling.
gonna- So I guess give me Jacksonville.
Yep, I'm with you guys. I'm also taking Jacksonville. Our Sunday night football matchup features the 8-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they head to Jerry World to take on the 6-8 Dallas Cowboys. 8:20 p.m. kickoff at AT&T Stadium on NBC. Over under is 48.5. Tampa Bay is favored by 3.5.
This seems crazy, but I'll take the Cowboys plus 3.5.
Carter?
This should be a sneaky good game. I think Dallas has actually been playing a little bit better here lately, but I've been kind of riding Tampa all year, so I will go with Tampa minus 3.5.
Yeah, I've been especially hyped about Tampa since they've come back from their break. Dallas also hasn't been great at home, but I don't know what's going on, but I feel like this team has found a little motivation to close out the season. I don't know if we're going to win this, but I'm going to take Dallas plus the 3.5 to keep it within 3.
Here we go.
I love that Cooper Rush is the one that's using that. Dak's not even using it anymore. Our Monday night football matchup has the 5-9 New Orleans Saints up against the 10-4 Green Bay Packers. 8:15 p.m. kickoff at Lambeau Field on ESPN. Over under is 42.5. The Packers are favored by 13.5.
Yeah, I know my boy Jake Hayner got pulled pretty quick last week. Basically, now all he is an internet meme with all of his fantastic photo shots, which if you have not seen those, goddamn, are they excellent. You've got to check them out. I don't think the Saints have much to give in this one. 13.5 is a ton, but I'm really skeptical of that Saints offense, so I'll be on the Packers.
Carter?
Yeah, I don't normally like giving this many points, but I feel like Green Bay is starting to run into form like they did on their playoff run last year, so they should roll here.
I am with you guys. Significant advantage here, I think, for the Packers between talent and weather, especially. So I'm also going to go Green Bay to win and cover. All right, no bye week teams as usual for the last couple weeks here. Let's move into our locks of the week. Jake, who's your lock?
I am taking the Seattle Seahawks plus 3.5 at home. Like I said earlier, I do not think the Vikings are that good of a team. It'll be nice to see them outside in the elements. And Seattle, it's kind of make or break for them at this point. So I think this will be the game that we see what they have left. So I'm on Seattle plus 3.5.
I am going to lock in on Buffalo over New England. Significant spread here, but Buffalo's rolling right now. I don't think the Patriots are going to be able to keep pace. So I'm going with Buffalo.
Carter, you throwing a lock in?
Yeah, this is probably a little risky, but give me KC minus 2.5. I think Mahomes will play, and I think they'll cover.
I like it. I like it.
All right, Jake, let the dogs out.
I just talked about it a few minutes ago. If there's one team that can handle McDaniel and his offense, it is the Niners. I know that they're injury-ridden, but I don't think the Dolphins are very good. They have injuries on their own issues, and I just think the Niners are a better team overall, so I will take them plus even money.
I am going with Denver over the Chargers. I just think Denver's been playing some inspired football, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Chargers have been a little lackluster without Dobbins, so I'm locking in on the Broncos as my dog this week. Carter, you want to pick a dog here?
Give me the Seahawks out there in Seattle.
I like it. I was really hoping you were going to say the Commanders there, but we'll take Seattle. We like it.
Not that confident. I was maybe Pittsburgh, but let me go
Seattle helps it. Seattle helps us too, though. We need the Vikings to lose.
Right.
All right, guys, that is it for us.
Sorry, the dogs. They're ready to come out all over the place this weekend.
Dogs are
Seattle,
barking.
Washington, bring them all out. Just not Chicago.
Let's go. That is it for us for week 16. Carter, thank you again for joining. For Jacob Workman, this is Restounding TNT Tuesday Night Touchdown Podcast, NFL Edition, Week 16 picks. We will see you guys next week.
See everyone. Also, coming up very, very, very soon, live picking every college football bowl game and first round of the college football playoffs. So stay with us. We'll be back very soon. See everyone.